this year, as well as all-time tournament record. 4 teams gone, 4 still alive. Semifinal number 1, Herrin chasing his first state title in 45 years. Tolono Unity taking home the first basketball trophy in school history. Tigers and Rockets next on the IHSA TV network. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of March Madness here in Peoria. Class A semifinals this morning. We are at Carver Arena in downtown Peoria, and if yesterday was any indication, we should have more great basketball coming your way here today. We had 2 overtime games yesterday and 2 very close quarterfinals in the other matches. Today, Herrin tries to make history. The last time they won a state championship was back in the Eisenhower administration. And Tolono Unity trying to repeat their football success and get back to a state championship game. Here for the call of today's first semifinal, Kurt Pegler and Doug Altenberger. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Lee, and good morning, and welcome back to Carver Arena for our first of 2 semifinal matchups. The state championship game is tonight. Kurt Pegler, Doug Altenberger with you. Doug, in this first matchup, you're talking about Herrin, a team that hasn't been to the state finals in a generation. And Unity has never been here, so a couple of teams really feeling their way through this event for the first time in a long time.
Well, and both coming off very emotional wins on Friday. I mean, they put a lot of effort out there. You could see the energy. It'll be interesting to see what level they come out with here Saturday morning on this game here, because both teams, this is new territory for them, and both coaches know that they've got to get these guys up, that after a big emotional win, sometimes there's a letdown.
Let's talk about the road to Peoria and to the state semifinals here this morning. We'll first start with Unity. The Rockets won the sectional game against Crispin in the semifinals and then beat with Central A&M to win that Decatur sectional. Then on Tuesday night beat Warrensburg Latham in the Decatur super sectional, and then yesterday beat Robinson in an overtime game in the state quarterfinals 64-57. Herrin won the Carterville regional, then beat Harrisburg and Benton on the way to the Frankfort sectional title, beating the state champion Pinckneyville in the Carbondale super sectional, and then knocking out the Farmington Farmers in the first Class A state quarterfinal yesterday, 60-52. As far as the key players that we'll be keeping our eye on today, let's talk about Unity. Josh Harden really came on strong yesterday in the quarterfinals, didn't he, Doug?
Yeah, and he's a guy that struggled most of the game, but all of a sudden it came crunch time in the 4th quarter. He stepped it up, but in overtime is where he really showed his leadership. Scored 7 of the 14 points and really established himself with some critical free throws they needed down the stretch. So he's a fearless guy, only 5'7", but he's not afraid to go among the big boys, and he did that last night.
And all year long, Brian Alge has led the Herrin Tigers, and he'll be the leader again today.
Well, he a very impressive player. What impressed me the most was his great ability, his touch. Great guy. He could go outside. He can shoot the three-pointer. He does it all. But what he really did was against Farmington was a shot blocker. 6 shot blocks really made it frustrating for the offense for Farmington, and really that's where his presence was felt. They've got to attack him tonight. When you got a guy like his ability, you got to go right at a shot block, and that's what they need to do.
All right, let's talk about the keys to this first Class A state semifinal today between Unity and Herrin. First for Unity.
Well, for Unity, you look at theirs. They've got to shut down Alge. He's going to get his touches inside, want to make control of the boards. There's a big concern. Gavick is a guy who really crashes the offensive boards and contain their penetration. They've got great guards. They do, and you've really got to contain those guys.
All right, how about for the Herrin Tigers?
Herrin, they don't have a lot of depth. Got to stay out of foul trouble, pound the ball in the paint, and then play under control. That's one of the concerns the coaches have, is that sometimes they play out of control, quick turnovers, and a team like Unity will take advantage of that.
On paper, it looks like a terrific matchup. 25-6 Unity against 25-7 Herrin. Stay tuned. We'll meet the players and have the opening tip after these messages and a word from your local station.
Warrensburg Latham and a 7-point overtime victory yesterday over Robinson. Congratulations and good luck to the Rockets of Tolono Unity. The home team on the scoreboard, the Herrin Tigers. Herrin is 25-7. Leading over the Southern Illinois
Carver Arena will be jumping today and tonight as we'll crown a new Class A state champion. And the first of the two semifinal matchups here this morning pit the Unity Rockets at 25-6 against the Herrin Tigers at 25-7. As we said at the top of the broadcast, a couple of teams that are really feeling their way for the first time through this, Doug. And, you know, it's an exciting time for these young men. They win a quarterfinal game. Now they're playing on Saturday. They're guaranteed to bring a trophy home. But, you know, they got a lot of things to do in between games. They got to get scouting reports. They got to get fed. They got to do laundry. There's a lot of stuff that goes on between yesterday's win and today's game.
Yeah, everybody talks about, you see the game out here, but there's so much other things that go into scouting reports and all the information. And it's not like a lot of these Division I programs where they've got all these people to do things. Hey, someone's got to do the laundry, someone's got to do the little stuff. And Lance Freeman from Unity was complaining about that. It was sort of cute.
Let's talk a little bit about the schools and where they're located within the state of Illinois. Unity High School is just outside Champaign in the east central part of this state, about an hour-and-a-half drive away from Peoria in Tolono. And Herrin way down south, long drive for the Tigers as they represent the southern part of the state to get here to Peoria. And the teams that have come out of the south since the tournament has moved to Peoria have been very successful. The tale of the two cities, again, Tolono is where Unity is located. 2,400 is the population in Champaign County with 445 enrolled in the Illini Central Conference. Meanwhile, Herrin is we've got an 11,000 population from Williamson County, enrollment of 667, a river-to-river conference, again from the southern part of the state. Terrific basketball down south, terrific basketball all over the state of Illinois, and we've got two good, evenly matched teams meeting here in the first of the two Class A state semifinals. For the introduction of the players and the starting lineups, let's go to public address announcer Paul Herzog.
Good morning, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and the city of Peoria, welcome to America's original March Madness. Today's semifinal action in Carver Arena features the Herrin Tigers and the Tolono Unity Rockets. At this time, we ask you to please stand to honor America. Address the flag with your hand over your heart and remove your caps as senior from Metamora High School, Paul Brennan, leads us in our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now let's meet the starting lineup for the semifinal contest. At a forward for the Unity Rockets, a 6'5" junior, 21, Tyler Smith. At a forward for the Herrin Tigers, a 6'3" junior, 35, Mike Gavick. The other forward for the Rockets, a 6'2" junior, 33, Andy Eisenmenger. The center for the Herrin Tigers, a 6'9" senior, number 50, Brian Algie. At center for Unity is 6'2" senior, number 24, Cole Voigt. One of 3 guards for Herrin is 6'1" junior, number 10, Brad Walker. At a guard for the Rockets, a 5'7" senior, number 40, Josh Harden. At a guard for the Tigers, a 6'1" senior, number 15, Eddie Wills. The other guard for Unity, a 5'10" junior, number 11, Brian Moore. The third guard for Herrin, a 6'1" senior, 21, Mike Aldani. Head coach of the Rockets in his 7th season of coaching, 2 at Unity, with a record of 45-12, is Lance Freeman. Head coach in his 10th season, 3 at Herrin, a record of 55-28, Mike Mooneyham.
All right, let's show you those starting 5s for both clubs again. Herrin Tigers and Unity Rockets meeting in this first Class A state semifinal this morning in Peoria at Carver Arena. Smith, Eisenmenger, Voigt, who came up with some big plays yesterday, Harden and Moore for Unity. Herrin has Gavick, LG, Walker, Wills, and Aldani. Essentially 3 guards and 2 post players in that Herrin starting 5.
And you see LG, he's the guy that, again, what impresses me most about his is not only can he go down on the post, but he can go out behind the three-point line and knock it down. So he's got the full game. This guy, I don't think there's anybody here right now that can really contain him that's playing today.
You saw Greg Milam, Vice President of Heritage Bank, who was presented with the ceremonial first ball, if you will, here as we get things started. Chris Bergschneider, Larry Bruck, and Dan Snodgrass, the officials working today's state semifinal. Herrin and Unity playing for a right to go to the championship game tonight. All 4 of the teams still around, guaranteed of having a trophy, but they're all wanting that elusive state championship. Unity will wear its maroon road uniforms with white trim. Herrin in the home whites with orange trim. It's the Tigers and the Rockets, and we are underway at Carver Arena as Algie controls the tip, and Herrin's going to have the first possession. And we're glad you're alongside here on the IHSA television network for 2 semifinals today. Consolation game and championship game tonight here in Peoria. Here's Algie. Thought about the first shot, kicked it over on the far side. It's Aldani. His shot is no good. It's Josh Harden on the defensive end for Unity.
See Herrin coming out with a 2-3 zone. Good idea. That way, stay in protection. Kurt, now you and I talked about don't have a lot of depth and got to stay out of foul trouble.
There's Voigt spinning. He made one of those shots in traffic yesterday. That one wouldn't go down.
When he's falling down, that's when he's most dangerous.
Eddie Wills' pull-up jumper is no good. We're still scoreless, and now Moore, the long lead pass ahead to Eisenmenger, all the way down, laid it up, missed the shot. It was altered briefly. Tyler Smith turns around and shoots it in.
And Unity was able to do that yesterday. Get behind the defense. Your guards have got to check up. So Walker and Wills have got to know where those guys are. Stop that penetration.
And there's Walker driving, missed a short shot off the glass, loose ball on the floor, got it back in traffic around 3 guys, stripped that time by Unity's Moore. And now he pushes the ball to the floor. It's Josh Harden. Dribble drive and drew the foul that time as he was hacked by Mike Aldani.
Now, the thing I like about Harden, too, is that he recognizes when he can go in there and when he's got when there's nobody down there. Again, good recognition by him. Goes one-on-one. He knows if he breaks him down, he gets to the free throw line or draws a foul.
More triggers under the basket. Just underway. It's 2-0 Unity, and we've got a traveling violation, our first turnover of the afternoon.
Now, Voigt is going to have a difficult time. He needs to get out from underneath that basket. Only 6'2". Matches up weight-wise, both of them 235 and 255 for Algie, but he's given up too many inches.
You see that the Tigers have won 7 of their last 8. Sectional win over Harrisburg actually avenged 2 setbacks earlier this season. 25-7 the Tigers, 25-6 the Rockets. Algie from the outside. Nice touch for a big fella.
And we talked in the open about his ability to go outside. He can do that. You've got to put a hand in the face.
And now Harden tries to answer, and it's 3 ball goes in.
And Harden struggled yesterday from the three-point land. Lance Freeman's got to be excited to see his guard step up, make that first shot from three-point land.
Algie on a double team off the side of the backboard. Didn't get a good look that time. Hard penetrates, headed stripped. Back come the Tigers now. It's Walker in transition. Harden from behind. He got him with the foul.
Algie very fortunate he didn't get called for that foul. It was right in front of us. Got some hand, but no call. And that caused, the reason Harden was able to drive in there and penetrate was Cole Voigt was outside again at the top of the key, and that's where he needs to stay. Out in the perimeter, look for that jump shot. Algie's going to help out defensively, look for the shot blocking, but he's going to leave some people open.
Lance Freeman's Rockets, as you saw by the graphic, 8 consecutive victories, and Algie threw the ball there. Was it tipped? No, it's going to stay down the net on the floor. Officials believe that Unity got a hand on it, and so Herrin maintains possession. State titles for Herrin in boys basketball in '57. Earl Lee was the head coach. 31-2 that team went, but you've got to go way back to the 50s, as we mentioned, the Eisenhower administration, to start seeing the time that Herrin made it through here to the state quarters and semis. 5-2 Unity leads. We've played just over 2.5 minutes here early going in Peoria. Nice jump shot that time by Eddie Wills.
And Eddie Wills is sort of the X factor. Sometimes he plays out of control, hits the big shots. Yesterday really started well offensively, had a lot of confidence.
Walker's going to be whistled for the foul out on the perimeter. That's the first for Walker and the second whistled against Herrin. First tournament appearance for Unity after 5 consecutive super sectional losses. They finally got over the hump, and they've taken the advantage of it as they've gotten to the state semifinals, but that's Cole Voigt now with the turnover. The second one whistled against Unity.
And you see Algie give him a lot of space. He knows he's got the height differential on him, 7 inches, so he's going to let him get that ball in the post, but he's going to challenge him, try to intimidate him. And when you got a shot blocker, Kurt, you got to go right at him. That's what Cole Voigt needs to do. Don't let him get too much space.
Algie from the outside. He knocks down the 3.
I mean, that's a 6'9" guy doing that. That is so difficult to defend.
Mike Mooneyham, the head coach of the Tigers, said that one of the reasons why Algie caused so many troublesome matchups is because he scores inside or outside, as we're seeing. Tyler Smith the miss, and the rebound that time to Mike Gavick, and back come Herrin now. Algie again. Drop down pass intended that time for Gavick, off his hands and out of bounds. Timeout on the floor, 7-5 Herrin. This Illinois State High School Association broadcast is brought to you by Adco Tractor, you've got to drive one. And by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
Community of Herrin has been great. The people are really excited. Our school and our students are really excited, and you know, everywhere we go, we're getting, you know, welcomes, and people want us to, you know, send us out to eat and stuff like that. So it's really big. We've had, you know, people meeting us at places after games and escorting us into town, and it's just been fantastic for our kids, and I really think it helps our kids tremendously.
Mike Mooneyham talking about the crazy fans in Herrin who've just absolutely supported their Tigers. In 1994, they lost in the Super Sectional to Pinckneyville. In 1963, they lost in the Super Sectional to Metropolis. You have to go way back to 1959 to find the last time the Herrin Tigers were represented in the state Elite Eight. So obviously, people have been waiting a long time in that part of the state to see this day.
Yeah, I like his, you know, against Farmington, they didn't panic, did a nice job of being a calming influence. Some of the guys got excited, and they made a run at him, but he was able to call some timeouts and try to defuse it. I thought an excellent job of coaching.
And a steal by Eddie Wills with a quick hands, but he's chased down that time and fouled by Brian Moore as Wills went for the lay-in.
Well, Eddie Wills has got ability to penetrate, and a slasher there. He says she's his quickness to get a turnover.
Let's listen in here to the sounds of the game. Hello.
Ouch. Doink.
You know, sometimes you can be too close to the action.
Good concentration by our cameraman. He didn't flinch.
Wills to the foul line, where he's an 84% free throw shooter, a terrific free thrower, and we're seeing a substitution now for Unity. It was, you see, Justin Little will check in for Cole Voigt. A couple of big, wide bodies there for Unity. See the numbers on Wills. He shoots 44% from the field and 84 from the line.
He's got a nice release, good rotation. That's why you can see he's a good free throw shooter.
9-5 now. The Herrin lead is 4.
Little different look for Herrin, a 3-2 zone, more of a matchup zone, looking to match up with those three-point shooters.
And a 3-second violation is whistled on the turnover against Unity. That's the 3rd turnover now. Check that. That's the 5th turnover for the Rockets. Unity started out real quick, Doug. Hit their first couple of shots from the floor, but have gone cold here in the last couple of minutes, and the Tigers have a 9-5 lead in the basketball. This is the first of 2 Class A state semifinals. There's a turnover that time for Herrin.
Well, Eisenmenger does a nice job on Gavick so far, really getting physical with them. They've changed their defense as Unity does, and Gavick's a guy who had a huge game yesterday against Farmington. 17 points, 9 rebounds, and it was a quiet 17 points and 9 rebounds.
Here's Moore, who got off to a slow start yesterday, short on his first jumper. Back come the Tigers. Walker looks inside, skips it out on the outside. It's Old Donnie. Down low, nicely done to Gavick.
Nice ball reversal. First time they've done that, they get him caught on the weak side. Right now, Unity needs to get the ball to Tyler Smith. Needs to get more touches. So far, I don't think he's handled it more than once here in the first quarter.
There he is. And his shot is swatted out of there by Brian Algie.
Got to put that on the floor, try to draw contact.
Coach Mike Mooneyham, perhaps you hear him on our microphone, just yelling for the high-low for his Tigers as we approach the 2.5-minute mark left here, first quarter. 11-5, the Herrin lead. Now it's Gavick again. His shot is short, tipped around and out of bounds, and it's going to go to Herrin. And we're seeing Stratton Kellenhofer checking the game for the first time for Unity as he'll spell Andy Eisenmenger.
Kellenhofer does a great job of defense. He played some off the bench Nick Brooks and really did a good job of frustrating the All-Stater yesterday, and did a nice job of face guarding, trying to get in him, and talked about it in the paper. He said, well, we try to get into try to get Nick Brooks mentally upset, and I think they did a good job there. In the second half of that game, he struggled offensively.
Greg Murphy in, Mike Aldani out for Herrin. So both teams going to the bench here on that dead ball. 11-5, the Herrin lead. Herrin scored 9 straight points. Shot no good. Big rebound that time by Gavick.
Yeah, he went upstairs on that one, just exploded.
And Algie around a double team that time, but he's fouled immediately by Justin Little. That's going to be a difficult matchup this afternoon for Unity.
Well, you've got 3 guys that are pretty big and strong and athletic. You got Algie and Gavick, and those guys really, Unity doesn't have much to counter with those guys. Here you see inside, does a nice job of getting large and big target inside, and you know, for a big guy, he does a good job of moving around without the basketball. A lot of big guys have a problem with that.
Well, after the block shot, Unity trying to score in transition now, but it may be a traveling violation. No, it's going to be Algie. Whistle for the foul. He's got his hands in the air thinking, I didn't do anything.
Well, when he was going by him, he puts his hands down. That's when he gets called for the foul. Keeps his hands up in the air, no call. You see in transition, Little does a good job getting down the floor, but you see that left hand sort of puts on there, and that's when he gets called for the foul.
That's the first against Algie and the third against the Tigers. Smith to Harden now. Unity having a difficult time attacking that zone, and another block that time for Brian Algie. Second in a row on Tyler Smith. Now it's Moore for 3. It's missed, and Gavick the defensive board.
Now Moore continues to struggle on his jump shot. Did well in the overtime. The big fella going inside again.
Algie missed the dunk that time. He spun right towards the rim, but couldn't get it down.
Lost his balance on that, tried to finish it off.
And Tyler Smith tries a 3.
Unity starting to shoot some quick shots from the perimeter. That's not their type of game.
The Rockets now 2 of 10 from the field. We mentioned they hit their first 2 shots from the field, so they're 0 of their last 10 shots, and now a turnover for Herrin. 32nd timeout is called, so we'll stay here. The Tigers with an 11-5 lead.
And when you play Herrin, they like to play that up-tempo style. It gets you a helter-skelter type of thing. And right now, Unity's sort of not playing with the, yesterday's game. They were much more under control against Robinson. They played more, they controlled the tempo with their great guards, and Harden more.
We remind you that tonight, March Madness Class A wraps up. We'll have the consolation game at 6:30 and the state championship game at 8. And the second of the two semifinals this afternoon will pit Bureau Valley against Pleasant Plains. Full day of basketball right here along the lines of the IHSA television network.
Well, that's going to be another terrific game. Those two teams, they've been here before, and their goal is not here just to be here. Their goal is to win the state championship. So you're going to see tremendous amount of energy in those two games, that game.
Tyler Smith shot rims out, tipped out, and out of bounds to Herrin.
Right now, Algie isn't in there, but he's just challenging anybody to come into that paint area and try to establish themselves. So Unity's going to have to knock down some outside jump shots.
You see, before consolidating with Herrin, won 8 district titles as Herrin Bush High School. The last was back in 1961. I think Mike Mooneyham of Herrin's done a nice job. He's taken Brian Algie out here in the final minute of the quarter to give him a little bit of a breather. And an offensive foul. That time is going to be whistled against Eddie Wills. That's a little Josh Harden for you.
Yeah, Wills drops his shoulder, nowhere for him to go. Again, trying to take some time off the clock, go for the last shot here in the quarter, and instead they get called for you. Sometimes if you go into that 4 corners, you still got to be very aggressive.
We remind you that the Country Insurance 3-point shootout will take place between games, and the slam dunk championship will take place after the second of our semifinals here in this morning session. 30 seconds to go, opening quarter. Herrin 11, Unity 5. At one point in this game, Unity led 5-2, so the Tigers have gone on a 9-0 run here to close out the quarter. And Unity's really in dire need of a basket here. Here's Voigt, spun on the double team. Loose ball on the floor. Harden comes up with it. Skip pass over to Moore. Left open. Baseline left. Up, missed. Smith on the rebound. May have walked. He did. 6 turnovers in the quarter now for Unity. And Algie's going to check back in the final 6.6 seconds. And Herrin tries to see if it can't score one more time here before the end of the quarter.
Yeah, he brings back Wills and Algie, more offensive-minded guys in there with 6 seconds to go, and good move by the coach.
Final seconds, opening quarter now. Again, an offensive foul. 2 possessions, 2 fouls by Eddie Wills, and in both instances, it's Josh Harden who takes the charge.
Good positioning. We talked about defenders. Great defenders move their feet. Harden doesn't stay with it. Stays in, and he gets directly hit right in the chest, the midsection. And again, dropping that shoulder. Will's trying to create something. He's going to penetrate. Josh Harden anticipates.
And now Harden's going to get a last attempt shot here at the quarter. It's up and it's no good. And so Unity closes the quarter on an 0 for 11 shooting run. It's 11-5 at the end of one in favor of the Herrin Tigers. Second quarter action coming your way from Carver Arena after these messages and a word from your local stations. Bradco Supply Corporation is proud to be a sponsor of this year's Illinois High School Association State Basketball Tournament, the home of America's original March Madness. The best of luck to Tolono Unity and to Herrin. Our sideline reporter this morning is Lee Hall. What you got for us, Lee?
All right, thanks a lot. We're with Andrea Mooneyham, the #1 Herrin fan, because she's the wife of the coach, and this is something you came into with both eyes wide open. Dad was a coach, uncles were coaches, right?
Yes. My maiden name is Fletcher. My dad coached in Marion for about 30 years, and my uncle coached at Collinsville, so I've been to some of these tournament games. So this is exciting to come when you're a part of it, your team's a part of it.
Mom tried to talk you out of this, right?
Yeah, she told me not to marry a coach, but I did anyway.
Now, he wasn't a coach, though, when you got married. Did you try to talk him out of it?
No, that's what he wanted to do, and he's been doing it for 20 years, and we enjoy it. The whole family enjoys it. We have 3 daughters, and the oldest one's in junior high, and she's real athletic and involved in a lot of things, and we have a good time with it. We're having a really good time this weekend.
And she does double duty. She's also the cheerleading coach, and I think she might have a better coat than me. I didn't think that was possible today, but that tiger skin coat looks pretty nice. Back to you.
11-5, Herrin with the lead over Unity. And there's Gavick in traffic. He scores, and he's fouled. A 3-point play opportunity.
Boy, nice read from the top. Enzinger does a nice job of getting up, and Gavick, see, moves him up the lane, and then the pass comes over, releases. That's a very difficult pass to make, a difficult catch. Gavick finishes it off and gets to the free throw line.
67% free throw shooter, and as Doug has already mentioned, a monster game against Farmington in the first quarterfinal yesterday. 17 points and 9 boards for Mike Gavick, who now has 5 points and has given his team a 14-5 lead.
And 7 for 9 in that game, too.
Voigt, nice pass down to Tyler Smith. Hangs, fires, and still can't get it to go down.
You talk about the intimidation factor right now. Tyler Smith's looking for Algie every time he looks up there, and he's hesitating. That's why he's struggling from the field right now.
The Rockets are shooting just 13% here in the opening half. And a 5-second call, and give credit once more to Josh Harden. He's taken 2 charges and now is solely responsible for that turnover.
Yeah, Harden defensively really, getting after it out there, but it's on the offensive end where they've got to try to figure some success out. They really have struggled. And
you see the shooting numbers. Unity 2 of 16 from the field right now. Herrin 5 of 13, which isn't exactly great either.
And you can see Algie, he's not even guarding Cole Voigt. I mean, he's letting him go wherever he wants to, and he's just meandering, helping out anytime he can. But again,
Smith, yeah, he had a shot altered that time again by Algie.
Yeah, he's just leaving his man. Whoever's guarding him has got to be more of an offensive threat.
6'9", Brian Algie, 255-pound senior, has been a load in the paint all year long for Herrin. And he redirected that shot again as he got a piece of that one. Walker spins, hangs, snapped the ball down, nicely done in the lane that time by Greg Murphy. Now a 3-ball on the other end is missed that time by Eisenmenger, and a foul over the back on Unity. Nothing is going right for the Rockets right now.
I mean, they're trying to hit it from 3-point land, and they're just coming up cold, whereas Herrin's getting the ball inside, and they're playing to their strengths, and they've just taken everything away from Unity on the offense. They can't get anything going. And give Brian Algie just all the credit. I mean, every time that ball goes inside, he's just either he gets a piece of the ball or he's intimidating somebody.
And now it's going to be a foul this time on Brian Moore. So Harden picked up the foul on the offensive end, and Moore picks up the foul on the defensive end. 16 fouls now on Unity.
Yeah, they're starting to get frustrated out there. Right now you see Brian Moore, who really struggling from the field and starting to shake his head a little bit.
By our calculations, Unity has been held scoreless since the 6-minute mark of the opening quarter. So they've gone about 8 minutes without a hoop. Algie the miss, chased into the corner, not out of bounds. Going to go to the Rockets, I believe. Yes, that's the case. Boy, Unity is in dire need of any sort of basket here, whether it's a free throw, whether it's a two-point shot, a three-point shot. They need something to kind of get on track here.
Okay, you just see Algie right in the paint area. He's not moving at all, and Kovoit's got to step up, maybe hit a couple 15-foot jump shots.
Tough shot that time by Smith, no good. Rebound by Eisenmenger. He's going to get to the foul line, so finally an opportunity for the Rockets to get back on the board.
The only thing that could hurt Herrin is, like we talked about, Kurt, is they don't have a lot of depth. And if he gets in foul trouble, this is a whole different game for Unity. Again, see how he draws them in the air, then he draws that contact. You got to go right at those shot blockers. Don't let them get that spacing. That's what they need to intimidate you.
Well, when you talk about the minutes played yesterday, the starting five for Herrin, Gavick played 31 minutes, Algie played 31 minutes, Walker played 32, Wills played 32, and O'Donnell played 30. All you had was Greg Murphy and Joe Mazer playing 2 minutes apiece, so you're right. Their starting five logged 98% of the time. Split the free throws. Eisenmenger gives Unity its first points since the opening 2 minutes of the basketball game. So a 7-minute scoreless drought is finally history for the Rockets. 16-6. It's a 10-point Herrin lead. Tigers with the basketball. Here's Gavick again on the low block.
A good ball reversal by Herrin. Gavick really establishes himself very well down in the post area, and when he gets it that deep, he's going to get two for you or get to the free throw line every time.
Voigt bounce pass in traffic, and it's picked off that time. It's a dangerous pass. Mike Aldani in the right place at the right time for Herrin. Algie, quick hands. Dropped out pass to Gavick, but he misfired on it. And the turnover will give the basketball back to Unity. Timeout on the floor. 4:26 to go here, opening half. Herrin has a 12-point lead. The Tigers 18, and the Unity Rockets 6. Back with more from Peoria's Carver Arena after these messages.
You know, we've made it to the Super Sectionals 5 times before this, and to finally get that victory Tuesday night at Decatur was something special, not only to my guys and my coaching staff, but the communities back home, and to those 5 other teams that came up just a little bit short. All those guys had a lot to do with how these guys play the game. These guys grew up watching these guys play, and just to get over that so-called hump and win a game at Decatur is huge for our community and our kids.
Lance Freeman talking about the 0 for 5 Super Sectional run for Unity. Getting to the Supers in 82, 95, 97, 99, and 2000. Never getting to the Elite Eight until this year, so they had something to prove. And the Rockets not only get to Peoria and the state, but win a game, and now are playing in Saturday, guaranteed their first ever basketball trophy.
There you see, there's the success that Herrin so far had. They've really done a nice job getting that ball inside, whereas on the other hand, Unity's sort of live and dying behind that three-point line, and it's tough coming back, you know, after a big emotional win. Sometimes it's hard to have success from the outside. Sometimes you got to go inside, and when they have, it's been Brian Algie all over the place.
Voigt spins and misses the shot, and it's cleared that time by Joe Mazer, who's just checked in the game for Herrin.
Yeah, no shots went down for them yesterday.
The Rockets are just ice cold. 2 for 21 from the field. Now, again, some of that is credited to the defense of Herrin. And another inside basket that time by Gavick. And Mike Gavick is the game's leading scorer with 9 points.
Yeah, he's only 6'3", but he plays like he's 6'10".
Kellenhofer pump fake, had it stripped, put the ball on the floor, and Eddie Wills came away with it.
A good idea to back it up. Take your time.
Herrin is doing some of this damage here on the floor now with Brian Algie getting a breather on the bench. Loose ball tipped into the corner. Nice effort that time by Kellenhofer as he chased the ball right into the front row, but it's going to be Herrin's basketball. Riley Pierce checks in now for the Rockets, and he'll replace Cole Voigt. It's been a rough start here for Unity. Still plenty of basketball to play. A 14-point Herrin lead as we approach the 3-minute mark left in the first half, and now a steal. And it's Josh Harden of the Rockets who comes away with it, takes it all the way down. His pass goes into the far corner, saved by Tyler Smith, but he stepped on the sideline. And Lance Freeman is scratching his head trying to figure out how he can put some points on the board.
Yeah, it just seems time every time they come down, it's they're looking for Brian Algie, even though he's not in there.
And now it's Herrin coach Mike Mooneyham that asks for a 30-second timeout. Tell you about the IHSA website, IHSA.org. Climb on there. You have the Score Zone, which provides complete state series results, coverage of the regionals, the sectionals, the super sectionals. You'll find the IHSA television network schedule on there. You'll have the website containing year-by-year stats for each sport, and it's the most extensive library of Illinois high school sports records on the web. All you got to do to get there is climb onto your computer, get to www.ihsa.org, and you'll find the homepage of the Illinois High School Association.
Kurt, are you doing that right now? Are you surfing in that?
I wish I could say that. That would look, that'd be really neat if I could pull that off here from the court side. But the guys in the truck are doing it live, which is even better. We'll monitor those stats for us live.
And it's a great website. I mean, I was on there surfing that thing this week, and it's just got tons of information.
You'll find all the box scores from the games here in Peoria as well. Outside shot that time missed by Mazer.
Yeah, that's not the guy they want to be shooting the basketball right now. He comes off the bench. You want to take your time.
Now from the corner, it's Moore, who's still scoreless. Missed the shot, and Mazer clears on the defensive end for the Tigers.
His shot looks good, but it's just not going down. He got good rotation, and his feet are set.
And for the third time in the first half, Eddie Wills is called for an offensive foul. Each of his 3 fouls, Doug, have been in the same scenario.
Yeah, that was a tough angle. We really couldn't see it, but here we'll see. Comes down out of nowhere, and gets out of control. Moore comes over, sets up, jumps in the air. Good defense. And again, we talked about Wills, great penetrator. You know that he's going to be careful he didn't get a technical on that. A little too dramatic out there, but an explosive player, but at times does play out of control in there. He jumps in the air, and when you play against a good, fundamentally sound defense like Unity, you get out of control. They're going to slip in there and get the charge every time.
So Mike Aldani is back in the game now. And Wills, with his 3 fouls, takes a seat on the bench.
Well, things are starting to happen against Robinson. You've got Wills with 3 and Algie with 2.
Voigt offensive board and stick back. First field goal of the second quarter for Unity. First field goal since the 2-minute mark, I should say the 6-minute mark, 2 minutes into the game in that first period. Both teams crashing the glass this time, and it's Tyler Smith of the Rockets that comes away with it for Unity.
This is an important couple minutes here. Unity can really pick up the slack here with Algie and Wills on the bench.
Riley Pierce working the baseline. It's going to be a blocking foul called against Herrin's Joe Mazer. Needless to say, not a very popular call amidst the Herrin fan section. So the first foul on Mazer is the 8th on the team for Herrin, so Riley Pierce will get to the foul line.
Kurt, if you're Unity and you can get this thing into single digits going into halftime, you got to be really happy shooting only 13% from the field. I mean, nothing went right for him in the first half here. Got to make those free throws.
And so Brad Walker will walk the ball up the floor for Herrin. The Tigers have a 12-point lead at 20-8. Minute and a half here to go till halftime. In the first of 2 state semifinals, we'll have a new state champion crowned tonight here at Carver Arena. In fact, Pinckneyville, the reigning state champion, was eliminated in the super sectional by Herrin. Tigers patient on the offensive side. Now Mazer on the outside. Gives it up to Mike Aldani. Hounded by Josh Harden, who's done a wonderful job defensively here. Now Gavick, spinning, hanging, and scoring.
Oh, what a tough shot. And that was a spin move, guy right in his face. See the elevation on his jump shot.
Terrific first half from Mike Gavick. He's 5 of 7 from the field, 11 points and 5 rebounds to lead the way for the Tigers. And Tyler Smith's shot won't go down, and Mazer rips it away for the Tigers. And now Mike Mooneyham is screaming for his team to slow down and hold for 1 shot. His team has a 14-point advantage, 22-8, and in all likelihood will get the final shot of the half. see the time in the corner, 16 seconds and counting, left here in the half. Banked in, that time by Aldani. Final seconds of the half. Tyler Smith with 1 on the clock, forces up a 3, and it's no good. And the Herrin Tigers leave the floor at halftime here at Carver Arena with a 24-8 lead over the Unity Tigers, forcing, I should say the Unity Rockets, forcing the Rockets into 12% shooting, 3 of 25 from the floor. Now let's go to the floor. Here's Lee Hall.
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. We're with Mike Mooneyham. Coach, you only give up 3 field goals there in the first half. Great defensive effort.
Our defense has really come a long way in the last month, and they just did a super job out there that half, and hopefully we can continue that into the second half.
Yeah, you had to deal with some foul trouble there, but boy, Mike Gavick showed that he's a player.
Mike's a player. He's an all-around athlete. He can be inside, outside, got some quickness, handles the ball, really gives us a lot of options that we can use with him.
You talk about that foul trouble?
Well, somebody's going to have to step up and play. Eddie's in a little bit of foul trouble, and we got other kids going to do something. Now we'll go in a different direction. We'll go somewhere else offensively, and we'll be all right.
All right, Kurt, back to you. Thanks, Coach.
Mike Mooneyham had his Herrin Tigers 24-8 leaders after the first 16 minutes. Halftime here in Carver Arena. The first
And we are back at Carver Arena, 24-8, our halftime score here. It's Herrin with the lead over Tolono Unity. And we've got more basketball action coming your way here. In game 2, it'll be the Pleasant Plains Cardinals taking on Bureau Valley. They will take home a state trophy for the 3rd year in a row. No team's ever done that. And that's coming your way on the IHSA Basketball Network. Pretty good first half there for Herrin. Actually, an outstanding first half. They only allow 3 first half field goals for Tolono Unity, but we saw a pretty tough Unity team knock off Robinson yesterday. And let's go over to Kurt and Doug and talk a little bit about that first half. Guys?
All right, again, 24-8. Herrin is leading at halftime. Kurt Pegler, Doug Altenberger back with you courtside here. A rough shooting half for the Unity Rockets. I think some of that has to be credited certainly to the defensive blanket that the Tigers threw at him, especially when you talk about Brian Algie and the ability he has to change shots and to alter offenses by his defensive presence.
Yeah, I thought it was the athletic ability of Herrin really gave trouble for Unity. Didn't have a hard time matching up, especially Tyler Smith, who was 1 for 14 in the first half, and I think he struggled with that quickness that he saw.
Now, one of the great things about this entire weekend here and next weekend in Peoria is the March Madness experience across the hall, the exhibition hall in Peoria. It's kind of a fan fest opportunity. You've got virtual reality basketball, as you can see in some of the video. You've got replicas of some of the trophies and some of the great names of the players who have won state championships and who have really shaped this thing that we call March Madness in the state of Illinois. An opportunity for the young people to go and play on 8-foot rims and 9-foot rims, and it makes some of us guys feel a little bit more important because we didn't have the opportunity like Doug Altenberger to dunk during a regular game. So when we've got 8 or 9 foot rims, we can do that. It's awfully fun for that. Let's go back now to Lee Hall courtside. Lee?
All right, guys, thanks a lot. We are with a gentleman who's made it to the state finals here this year, Robin Roberts. He's one of the officials. He's from Bloomington, Illinois, and a very interesting story. You're out there, you're like the $6 million man, Robin. You got some new parts in there.
They can rebuild you.
They can do it. They have the technology, right? Tell me about the surgery you had a few years back.
Well, about 1995, I did a lot of running. I ran 7 Boston marathons and thought I was doing myself some good, and went into a orthopedic surgeon. He told me I didn't have any cartilage left in my hip socket and I needed a hip replacement. So I went into shock, and I was moving quite a lot ways into this refereeing field, and I was knocking on the door of the state tournament, and I thought, man, I'd like to be able to maintain this and possibly get to Peoria and have a lot of fun. And so I shopped around. I went to a few orthopedic surgeons. I found one guy up in Morris. His name's Keith Resin, and he said that he'd let me officiate after I got done. So I went, well, you told me what I wanted to hear. I'm going to go do it.
How long ago did you have the surgery, and how long did it take you to get back into the swing of things to get out there and officiate games again?
I had it done in 1998 on May 15th, and I did miss the season, though my refereeing partners thought I should have. They carried my sorry behind for a couple years there. I was kind of slow, still not the fastest guy anymore, but it's really gone very well and a lot better than I ever envisioned.
Can you talk about just the thrill of being out here and officiating a state championship? I mean, you know, a lot of us didn't get here as players. It's got to be a thrill to be here as an official.
It's a tremendous thrill. You walk out on the floor and you're just glad to get that first whistle out so you can get all that nervousness out of your system and then get a good focus on the game so that you can give these kids a fair shake out there.
All right, Robin Roberts, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Right, good luck in game 2. We will be back with more from Carver Arena after this local break.
Time again at Carver Arena, first of the 2 Class A state semifinals with Herrin's Tigers leading Unity's Rockets 24-8. Kurt Pegler, Doug Altenberger back with you here. A frustrating half for the Rockets and a very pleasant half for the Tigers, I guess, is the really way when you break it down. Unity did this yesterday, started slowly and was able to overcome a slow start to beat Robinson, but Herrin right now has to love its position.
Yeah, Unity really came out slow in the first half, and they bend, but they didn't break. But here they had a really difficult time, and I think that the one thing that surprised them was the defensive intimidation by Algie and Gavick and the quickness of Wills. I mean, those things I don't think they expected, and they came out ready to play there in the first quarter.
Let's break down the first half statistics now, the first 2 quarters of play in the books, and you see that Unity just 3 of 25 from the field, while Herrin was 10 of 21. That's a gigantic stat there, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, that's very difficult to overcome, especially when you're playing against the talent of Herrin.
Free throws, both teams minimal at the free throw line, and only 1 3-point shot for each squad. The rebounds about the same, but look at the assist ratio. Unity, of course, doesn't have an assist, and Herrin has 7 of them in the first half. It's been a rough half for the Rockets. And as far as turnovers are concerned, about the same. There's Herrin, 4 blocks for their big fellow in the middle, Brian Algie, and he has certainly altered more shots than he's even been credited for.
Kurt, that's a good point. I mean, even though he's only got 4 blocks, it seems like he's done maybe altered twice as many shots down low. And when guys looking, they go up, especially Tyler Smith, he's looking for Algie all the time.
Unity's scoring fits on 1 page on our scorebook here. Harden has 3 points, Smith and Voigt each with 2, while Mike Gavitt has been terrific. He's got 11 points to lead the way, and Algie just with 5 points. We had talked about how much Algie has been really the force for the Herrin Tigers, but in this case, he's been more of a defensive force, while Gavitt is scoring the points in the low block.
Well, when you look at Algie, you know, he's 6'9", you think he'd be down on the blocks, but he's got the ability to shoot that 3-pointer, so he goes out on the perimeter. Gavitt stays down low, and he's big and strong, and we talked about it. He's 6'3", but he plays like he's 6'7", and he really played well against Farmington again today here in the first half. 5 for 7 from the field. He gets that ball down low. He's going to either finish it off or get to the free throw line.
Tough customer. Herrin has the halftime lead, 24-8 over the Tolono Unity Rockets. More from Carver Arena after these messages and a word from your local stations.
24-8 our halftime score. It's Herrin leading Tolono Unity, and we're with Lance Freeman. Coach, 3 field goals in the first half. You got to get that offense going here in the second.
Yeah, I just looked at the stat sheet, and we're shooting a blistering 11.5% from the field in the first half. And obviously, you know, you're not going to win ball games if you can't put the ball in the hole. We're getting some decent shots now. We're starting to force some things. We just got to let the offense come to us. You know, giving up 24 points in the first half, you know, we're comfortable with that, but obviously we got to put the ball in the hole.
All right, good luck second half, Coach. Kurt, back to you.
All right, Lee, let's take a look at some of those first half highlights that have shaped the way Herrin's run out to this 24-8 lead.
Yeah, not much for Unity here offensively. There's Smith's only bucket, 1 for 14, and he really got his touches, but really struggled from the field, not get much going. Then you see, just seemed like everything just was such an effort out there. But whereas on the other hand, what impressed me most off the bench was Murphy and Mazer. Those guys did a nice job when LG and Wills and those guys got in foul trouble. So even the bench came in and contributed. Kurt, you talked about not a real strong bench, but there's Gavick and Wills, and those guys just showing their athletic ability, and they just seem to be a step quicker out there.
Yeah, and Gavick with an impressive first half. 11 points and 5 rebounds. He's been active on both ends and has helped Herrin to a 24-8 halftime lead. Stay tuned. Third quarter action upcoming from Carver Arena here in Peoria. "16 minutes of basketball remaining in our first state Class A semifinal. The Tolono Unity Rockets with 8 points on just 3 of 25 shooting in that first half have some work to do. Brian Algie and his Herrin Tigers lead it 24-8, and we are ready to start the second half of action. Again, Herrin in the white uniforms with the orange trim, and it's Wills this time driving and drawing the foul. He picked up 3 first-half fouls on charges on similar plays.
Well, we talked about Josh Harden be fearless. You know, Wills is another guy that plays with no conscience. He goes in there and again, easily could have drawn his 4th foul there, but he just goes in there really hard and. You know, great. We talked about a guy that when you guard him, you got to make him beat you from the outside. Look for that drive, and Harden did a good job first 2 quarters drawing the charge, looking for that penetration, because that's what he loves to do first.
Wills with just 4 first-half points. A lot of that, again, he was strapped with foul trouble. Misses that first free throw. So on the floor right now, Herrin starts its original starting 5. Brad Walker, Eddie Wills, Mike Aldani, Mike Gavick, and Brian Algie. Both free throws missed. Meanwhile, it's Josh Harden, Brian Moore, Tyler Smith, Cole Voigt, and Andy Eisenmenger on the floor for Unity. Each team starting with its original quintet here as we open the third quarter.
And not to pick on Cole Voigt, but he needs to look to shoot a little bit. Right now, Brian Algie just challenged outside. Again, he's able to help out Smith. Anytime he beats his man, Algie's laying off there, and he plays that great help defense.
Algie with his 5th block of this game. He had 4 first-half blocks and opens the third quarter with another one. And now Wills from the outside misses, and Smith comes down with the defensive board.
Yeah, 2 poor shots there. Got lucky on the first possession. And again, boy, every time they go up, it's contested. You see Gavick or Algie all over him.
Gavick that time, he erases the shot from Eisenmenger. So with Unity trying to score in transition, even that is not working right now as Unity hustles back, or I should say Herrin back on defense. Algie misses his first shot of the half. Ball tipped up. Gavick had a couple of opportunities. Mike Mooneyham wanted a foul call. It's not going to happen. Now Cole Voigt. Collision underneath the baseline and out of bounds, and it's going to go to Unity.
That was 235 pounds coming at you, and
Brad Walker's got to be thinking,
took that. He's feeling his hip. Boom! He goes down, and that one had to hurt. That hurt from here.
That's Cole Voigt, the All-State football player, the linebacker, with a big-time move.
Yeah, and he knows how to deliver the hurt there, and
we've got a whistle underneath the basket on this play here and an opportunity. And the foul is going to be called on Algie. That's his 3rd foul.
Mike Mooneyham makes a timeout. Good idea. They've come out here in the third quarter here. A little disorganized offensively, defensively playing a little bit loose, and he wants to sort of rally the troops here, get them refocused and get them back out there. And he's got to be careful. Don't want to get his guys in foul trouble like they did and get Algie off there and the rest of those guys. Then all of a sudden the game starts taking on a whole new look.
It's a special weekend in Peoria, not just because of the Class A state basketball championships, but it's a reunion of the 1952 Hebron Giants, a team that has so inspired many of these Class A teams, and a team which has been patterned. You talk about the movie Hoosiers, you talk about a small school winning a state championship, and that was the case for Hebron back in 1952, and a reunion of some of the surviving members this weekend in Peoria. And there'll be a hometown celebration on the 10th of March, and they're going to have a presentation prior to the championship game here tonight.
Moore just hit a huge three from out. That's what they need. They need a couple of those to go down. Hopefully they'll relax a little bit more offensively, because they've gone cold so far in this game.
Yeah, while we were inside that graphic, it was a 3-ball by Brian Moore that went up and down. So a good start for Unity as far as Moore is concerned, because he's one of those streaky shooters, and once he starts making a couple, it could be a different ball game. Now Smith from the outside. Can't get it. Eisenmenger, and there's going to be a foul this time on Herrin. Walker's on his back. He can't believe it.
Well, again, Smith goes up, finally gets a good look from three-point land, doesn't go down. Good job. See, all of a sudden the game takes on a whole different look when Algie's not in there. Guys are able to rebound. Things become a lot more easier.
Voigt the miss, but Eisenmenger the offensive board and stick back.
That third foul on Algie is just huge here in the third quarter. You can see Unity all of a sudden starting to pick up and have a little more confidence with him on the bench.
Walker tries to answer, and he can't. There's going to be a foul underneath the basket on the rebound, and it's going to be whistled against Unity. And that's going to be on Tyler Smith. His first, I'm sorry, and the second team foul on Unity here in the second half.
I mean, right now you're shooting 16%. Nothing's gone right. You're down by 11. A couple threes here, and they're back in this game. Good idea. You see Herrin really trying to get it into Gavick right now.
The lob to Gavick. Lost the ball on the baseline, but collected it. Now in the double team, he's in trouble. Oldani, Murphy, and Walker play catch on the perimeter. We've got a foul underneath the basket. It's going to be against Unity's Andy Eisenmenger.
Getting a little rough out there right now. You see the officials trying to take control. Eisenmenger really get in his face of Gavick, and Gavick's a little bit more tougher than Brooks. He's a senior, knows how to handle these things, and Voigt comes over. As an officiating crew, you want to tell everybody, hey, we know this game's important. Let's everybody calm down, play clean.
Yeah, the last thing anybody wants to do is have whistle, 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 and free throws. Even the officials don't want that. Under 5.5 to go here, third quarter. Herrin with the basketball, and a 24-13 lead, and another foul underneath the basket. And it's in fact going to be a double foul, it looks like. Eisenmenger and Gavick have been going at it in the paint here, and let's see if our replay can help us understand this play.
Well, what happens is he's backing into him. Eisenmenger gets very fortunate, doesn't get a call thrown on him, and then what happens is Gavick turns around and gives him a throw that extends his arm out. You see it right here. Both of them working really hard. A lot of contact inside. You see the throw off by Gavick, and then the double foul, and it goes the way of Unity. But you know, if they get in foul trouble, like you talked about, Kurt, that's a help for Herrin. I mean, for Herrin, that's a negative. Unity's got a little more depth and strength of the bench.
So Eisenmenger and Gavick each whistled for those double fouls. Gavick's first and Eisenmenger's third. And back come the Tigers now as they walk the basketball floor, back up the floor. Under 5 minutes to go here, third quarter. 24-13, Herrin leads Unity. First of two Class A state semifinals today at Carver Arena. It'll be Bureau Valley and Pleasant Plains in the second one. The winner of this ball game goes to the state championship game. Timeout on the floor. Herrin 24, Unity 13 here with 4:47 to go. Third quarter from Carver Arena. Back with more in a minute. Back in Peoria, it's Herrin 24 and Unity 13. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Lee Hall.
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. We are with Tricia Freeman here, Lance Freeman's wife, the head coach's wife for Tolono Unity. Kind of a tough start, but you guys are showing some signs of life here.
Yes, they'll come alive, second half.
How tough is it sitting here and going through all this? You act kind of as a cheerleader, too. I've seen you over here waving the towel.
Yes, I like to get the crowd into it because I think if you get the crowd into it, it helps the players along.
Now, Brad Vickett's wife, the Bureau Valley coach's wife, is pregnant too, and I understand you guys got some good news coming too.
Yes, we're expecting a little boy in August.
All right. They do a better job of timing. I saw the Macomb coach. His wife just had a baby 2 weeks ago during regionals. Come on, you can't do that during regionals, can you? Back to you guys.
Well, I'm glad that you got that whole thing figured out, Lee, as far as the timing is concerned. Tyler Smith of Unity hitting that jump shot.
Well, we've got a ball game now, down by 9. You can see Unity's confidence starting to rise, and Herrin losing their composure out there a little bit.
And a turnover as Brian Moore comes away with it for the Rockets.
So Mike Mooneyham, you're trying to figure out when I put Wills and Algie back in there.
Harden from the corner missed the three. It's Algie that comes down with it. Loose ball. He chases it down now at half court. Kick over to the far side. This is Oldani from the outside. He can't get it. And the long rebound comes back out to Brian Moore. Quickly up the floor is Josh Harden all the way down 1-on-3. It's going to be a foul, and it's going to be called against Herrin.
But you see Harden again getting the numbers. He's got him into his advantage. Moves it up court. And able to knife in between the players. Good crossover, goes in there, and just late getting to the point. Murphy gets called for the foul. Harden goes to the free throw line. Critical. Unity makes these free throws down the stretch here.
Harden is a 75% free throw shooter, 5'7", 150-pound senior. We remind our stations along the line that our next break will be a local break at our next opportunity. And Brian Algie is checked back in. In the first 16 minutes of the ball game, Unity scored 8 points. Here in the opening 4 minutes of the third quarter, they've already scored 8.
And they put
Eddie
Wills back in too.
And it's a foul in the backcourt on Brian Moore. So a little full court pressure applied by Unity here, and it's going to result in a Brian Moore foul.
Again, Unity really trying to extend their defense, trying to get them, trying to move over here. See Moore trying to move his legs, but nowhere to go. Keeps trying to.
That's the third foul there, whistled against Unity's Brian Moore, the 5th of the half against Unity. Under 4 minutes to go here, third quarter. 24-17, a 7-point Herrin lead. This game is far from over. Now Algie. He's a good passer too. He hangs, fires, scores off the glass.
Such a tough shot. I mean, Little's doing everything he can, gets him up to almost to the free throw line. He does that reverse and just kisses off the glass. Well, he's just got great hands for a big man.
Now Smith shoots over Algie. He misses the shot off the glass, and it's cleared by Mike Gavick.
Again, this time, you know, Smith had some clean looks. Algie's back in there. He's got his, every time he breaks somebody down, Algie's over there to help out.
There's the drop down pass from Algie to Gavick.
Again, Algie and Gavick, those guys do that high-low. You see here Mike Mooneyham yelling high-low a lot. That's why.
Smith works the baseline and scores for Unity.
And Algie was over there again. It was just a step later. He would have blocked that shot.
The Rockets of Unity High School doing a much better job of getting to the basket. Now it's Algie's fadeaway. Front of the iron, no good, and Brian Moore the rebound. Harden, pump fake on the baseline. Just throws up a shot. He got himself in trouble. Eisenmenger missed the shot, tipped up, and it's Gavick coming away with it for the Tigers.
And Eisenmenger was looking for Algie on that time and shot that shot a little quick, little hesitation. Trying to get it off before the big fella got over there to block it. Mike Mooneyham calling for 4 corners, take some time off the clock right now.
2 minutes left here, third quarter. Wills with 3 fouls, tries a three-pointer, rims out. Now it's Harden. This time he'll try a 3-ball from the corner. Last time he missed it, got his offensive rebound, and he's going to get to the foul line.
This guy's just got a huge heart. I mean, he shoots the 3-pointer, fouls his shot. Gavick forgets to block out, goes by him, gets the short rebound. Then Wills comes over and gets his 4th fourth foul, so he's got to take him out of the game. And you know, Wills is a guy that defensively he matches up very well with Harden or Moore, so creates a lot of problems. With him on the bench, Harden has a little more success.
There's the foul trouble. Eisenmenger and Moore each with 3 fouls for the Rockets, and the Tigers have Wills with 4 and Algie with 3. It appeared that was a shooting foul, but evidently the foul was on the floor, so no free throws, just the possession. But Tyler Smith misses from the outside, and it's cleared by Herrin's Brad Walker, who penetrates and kicks and finds Algie real close to the basket. Missed the shot, got his offensive board, and stick back, and the foul.
Well, that ball goes inside. You see the the hands this guy's had. They're so soft, and for a big guy, that's just such a huge asset to have. And ball goes inside, able to keep his balance, keeps it high. See how he doesn't bring it back down, Kurt? Keeps it so none of the guards can go in there and then finishes it off. Good penetration by Walker, goes to the block strong. That's what happens when your guard breaks some guy. Get to the basket, and he stays with it. Nice job.
And now Brian Algie, the 6'9" senior, with an opportunity for the three-point play, and he makes good on it. I think your point is well taken. Big, soft hands, nice around the basket, nice on the perimeter.
And good decision by Mike Mooneyham to take him out now with 3 fouls.
And Brian's mom applauds that, too.
I'd be applauding, too.
Harden the miss that time, and a foul in the backcourt on the defensive rebound. Gavin came down with it. Harden whistled for the infraction.
Josh Harden's always trying to figure something out. That gets his 3rd foul right there. He was very active. See him going in there. Gavin does a good job of clearing out.
That's not the kind of foul, I'm sure, that Lance Freeman wants his star guard to be taking in the backcourt there.
But I think Mike Mooneyham for Herrin did a nice job of bringing his guys in, Algie and Wills, and reestablishing himself. He could have said, let's try to get to the 4th quarter, but hung in there, and then now he brings the guys back out, reestablishes that 12-point lead.
You see the scoring highs and lows for the Herrin Tigers this year. A season-high 76 points against Benton back on the 7th of December. Only scored 42 in a loss to Harrisburg on the 21st of December.
Well, it's amazing. These guys only scored 42 points, and just their, with the talent they have. But
meanwhile, there was a interesting situation at Unity where they scored 97 against Danville Schlarman on the 4th of January, and then against Normal University High School scored just 28. So we've had some extreme highs and some extreme lows between these two teams. Meanwhile, Gavins at the free throw line. His free throw is short and cleared by Tyler Smith as we approach the 1-minute mark left here in this 3rd quarter of action. 31-19. The Herrin Tigers lead the Unity Rockets here in Carver Arena, Peoria. Kurt Pegler, Doug Altenberger, Lee Hall with you. The first of 2 Class A state semifinals. And we have a ball that's stuck. And on the jump ball situation, alternating possession is going to go to the Tigers. You see that about once every season or so.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to do, even if you want to do it.
You couldn't try to do it.
Right.
Under a minute now here in this 3rd quarter.
Herrin wants to take some time off the clock. Take your time.
Walker left open, and he rolls home the shot. His initial plan was to pass. He was open, Doug. He said, I'll take the 15-footer.
Yeah, I mean, it was a free throw. They left him wide open. He steps up. Hey, I can make that. No problem.
On the baseline, a nice move that time by Justin Little, who backed in on Algie and drew the foul.
Well, what's amazing is these guys, when Algie is on the bench, and you see Little and Smith and the rest of the guys and have much more success in that middle. Everything, the game completely changes in the way they attack offensively for Unity.
So Justin Little, who shoots free throws at a 45% clip, now has an opportunity to cash in with a couple of foul shots.
And he's another big fellow.
He is. I want to see he and Cole Boyd on the floor at the same time and then run a screen pass behind him.
Yeah, 2 pulling guards there for Harden and try to pop him open for a 3-pointer. But those guys really know how to use their size and their strength, and that's in the post area.
You saw the foul trouble situation here. Will's the only player with 4 fouls in this game. He of Herrin, starting guard. But 3 players for Unity with 3 fouls, and another one for Herrin with 3 fouls as we approach the end of this 3rd quarter. Walker penetrates. He's going to try that same shot again. This time it wouldn't roll in. Smith clears. Under 10 seconds here, third quarter. It's Smith. His 15-foot fall away is no good. Rebound by Eisenmenger, slotted out of there by Mazer. Got it back, forced up a shot at the buzzer, and it's short. 3 quarters in the books here at Carver Arena. Just 8 more minutes left in this first semifinal. It's Herrin 33 and Unity 21. Back with fourth quarter action after these messages and a word from your local stations. Herrin's Tigers lead Unity's Rockets 33-21 here. 8 minutes to go in this first Class A state semifinal. The winner is headed to the state championship game. And let's take a look at those stats through the first 24 minutes of play. 3 quarters in the book. You see that Herrin has doubled up the number of field goals of Unity. The free throws roughly the same. The three-pointers roughly the same, although Unity's taken 13 three-point shots. Rebounds roughly the same.
Yeah, and against Robinson, Unity shot 31 free throws, and so far they've only shot 7 free throws for the game. So that's what Povoy needs to do. He needs to be more active here in the fourth quarter. Keep Brian Algie more honest out there.
That's a big basket. His boy took it right over Algie there. Was not intimidated by the big fella. Now Algie on the other end.
They did a nice job of moving Little right out of there. Still 250 pounds of them. The big fellas were banging inside. Good entry pass.
Now Voigt's fadeaway jumper is no good. It's off the front of the iron and cleared by Algie, who kicks it out to Walker now, who goes behind the back at midcourt and all the way down. And he'll slow it and bring it back out. Out of bounds, and it's going to go to Unity. That time is turnover by Mike Aldani of Herrin. Much to the chagrin of Mike Mooneyham, the head coach.
Again, Unity, if they can just get something going, we saw in that previous stat, they've shot the ball 46 times. There you see turnovers. That was a concern for Mike Mooneyham, his Herrin Tigers, and their ability to handle the basketball. They've done a pretty good job against the quicker Unity team.
Foul way out on the perimeter that time as Tyler Smith tried to go around Brad Walker, and Walker got him with the body.
So down by 12, 7 minutes to go. If Unity can just step up, maybe hit a couple threes, get it within 6 all of a sudden, then things start to change all of a sudden, get that momentum going. Anything can happen.
I stand corrected on that. Greg Murphy of Herrin is the one guilty of the foul. So Smith goes to the free throw line. This is certainly the go-to guy for Unity. A huge game in the super sectional against Warrensburg-Latham on Tuesday night. A 29-point effort. And this guy is quite a ball player and just a junior. Another year of watching him play in Tolono. 71% foul shooter. 6'5", 175 pounds. He splits his free throws, and the long rebound is corralled by Greg Murphy. So it's a 35-24, 11-point lead with 7 minutes to go here in regulation. And for Smith now, he has 7 points after making that free throw. Here's Algie's fadeaway jumper.
Oh, that's a far away 16, 17-footer. I mean, that is just deadly.
Algie now with a 14-point, 6-rebound effort. Smith tries to go over him and drew the foul. And Algie's got his hands in the air. He can't believe the call.
That was a tough call for the big fella. He was vertical, didn't go anywhere. Tyler Smith draws the contact, gives him his 4th foul.
Let's listen to the sounds of the game on this collision. That might be more the expression of the game.
Yeah.
So 4 fouls now on Brian Algie at the 6:39 mark here left in the 4th quarter. Smith's free throw is good, so Algie with those 4 fouls will leave the game in favor of Joe Mazer. And a nice round of applause by the Herrin Tiger faithful as Algie goes to the bench with 14 points and 6 rebounds. He's also got 6 blocked shots. Split the free throws once again for Tyler Smith. It's a 12-point ball game. Herrin 37 and Unity 25, and a drive to the basket that time by Brad Walker. Saw just a seam in the defense and took it right to the hole.
Yeah, the junior was a little nervous on Friday, but he has stepped up with Eddie Wills in foul trouble with some huge minutes at point guard.
Now off the missed Unity shot, it's Herrin back in the front court. It's Gavin. who's been relatively quiet in the second half after a tremendous first half. Dribble the ball off his foot and out of bounds that time. Walker looking for that same play as he tried to penetrate and take the ball on the baseline to the hole.
Yeah, it was there. Lost the handle on it towards the end, but again, he had that baseline wide open. Gets a handle on that basketball. Gets to the bucket.
14th Herrin turnover. And that ball's going to be out of bounds, and it's going to stay on that end of the floor, it appears, as Unity's going to get it. And we're going to see Justin Little check back in the ballgame, and he's going to replace Andy Eisenmenger. So you've got both Voigt and Little. There's two wide bodies on the floor at the same time for Herrin, with Algie out of the game. Or I should say for Unity, with Algie out of the game for Herrin. Now it's Smith. Hangs on the baseline and scores. That's a tough shot.
That was a tough shot, but usually when he's had that floater, Algie's been coming over nowhere to block that shot. So Smith's got to be very excited with Algie on the bench, because he's able to operate more freely.
Smith now with a double-double, 10 points and 11 rebounds for Tyler Smith of Tolono Unity. Gavick that time drew the foul on Cole Voigt, who's trying to get an explanation on what he did. For Voigt, that's his third, the 8th team foul on Unity, so it'll be 1 in bonus time now as Mike Gavick goes to the free throw line.
And when Algie's been on the bench, it seems like Mike Gavick has really stepped up. That's when he's, said, okay, got my teammate on the bench, and offensively, he really looks to score a lot more, be more active, and he takes over, especially down in the paint area.
Gavick had an 11-point first half. Has been held to just 3 points here in the second half. As he splits his free throw, and Smith corrals his 12th rebound of the afternoon. It's a 13-point Herrin lead, 40-27. Moore's going to try a three. It's no good, off the iron. Harden comes away with it. Loose ball on the floor, still on the floor. And finally, it's Oldani who comes away with it for the Tigers. And his pass is ahead to Gavick. It's a 2-on-1 if he wants it. It's Walker filling the lane and missing a shot. Back comes Smith. He's picked from behind. Moore comes away with it. His pass intended for Voigt is picked off by Mazur. And now a foul in the backcourt. No, a timeout on the floor by Herrin. We're under 5 minutes to go here in regulation. Herrin 40, Unity 27. Back with more from Carver Arena after these messages. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by AGCO Tractor. You've got to drive one. And by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. Bradco Supply Corporation is a proud sponsor of this year's Illinois High School Association State Basketball Tournament, the home of America's original March Madness. Best of luck to the Unity Rockets and the Herrin Tigers. And here with 4:47 to go, it's Herrin 40 and Unity 27.
A good timeout by Mike Mooneyham just to calm his guys down. The game was getting a little out of control, and settle his troops down and get him refocused. Try to get the ball back inside to Gavick. I mean, he's your go-to guy right here, right now, with Algie and Wills on the bench.
And Herrin with the basketball, wearing the white uniforms, and Unity in the maroon if you've just joined us. It's a 13-point Tigers lead. The winner of this contest moves into the Class A state championship game tonight at 8 o'clock here on the floor of Carver Arena. The losers guaranteed a third place, or guaranteed a trophy, and Gavick, Hoopman foul.
Well, that's what he wanted in that timeout. Take your time, get the ball inside, get some penetration. Look for Gavick if you do. Look for him on the blocks. And again, he gets that ball in that area. He is so tough, so strong, goes up and able to draw that contact, and he finishes that shot off.
Just when we say that Mike Gavick has had a relatively quiet second half, he comes up with a gigantic play for the Tigers. And so the junior forward makes it a 3-point play and makes it a 16-point spread at 43-27. And Mike Gavick has a double-double, 17 points and 10 rebounds now. Here's Tyler Smith. He's stripped. Loose ball on the floor, and Greg Murphy comes away with it. Mazer gives it up to Oldani, who looks down low. It's Gavick again. He's pinned in the corner, but somehow got a shot off. No good. Mazer the offensive rebound, but it's blocked by Smith, but he's whistled for the foul.
See, what sets that play up, Gavick, ball goes inside. There's about 3 maroon jerseys all around him. Mazer gets to that other side, that weak side, gets over there, and he's able to get the offensive rebound. And give Gavick the credit, because everybody's looking for him, and the ball goes inside. Mazer gets to that spot, and able to get their offensive rebound.
And here's the other big fella on the Herrin roster, 6'4", 200-pound senior center Joe Mazer, with Algie on the bench.
And he's played very well off the bench. Both him and Murphy, these guys got in foul trouble as starters, and they've played some big, strong minutes. Haven't scored a lot. That's not what Mike Mooneyham wants them to do, but play solid defense.
He missed both of his free throws. Josh Harden misses his three-point opportunity on the other end. Eisenmenger forced up a shot, couldn't get it. Back up, and in that time. He just would not be denied. Andy Eisenmenger crashing the glass. Relentless on this offensive possession.
Well, he is a tenacious defender, and he's working hard. I mean, he doesn't want to. I mean, this guy goes up against Gavick, stays with it, gets the rebounds, able to draw that foul, and you see the emotion he wants to play. He wants to keep on playing. He doesn't want this game to end.
He just crashed the glass that time and now has an opportunity for a three-point play.
Yeah, great second effort.
Short, and it's Mazer that comes away with it for the Herrin Tigers. Under 4 minutes left here. It's a 14-point Herrin lead, 43-29.
Herrin's doing this with Algie on the bench right now.
And Wills both.
Right.
Spreading the floor now. And the Herrin Tiger faithful on its feet. And a foul out on the perimeter. Whistle against Tyler Smith of Unity.
Yeah, defensively, these guys coming off the bench, Murphy, Mazer, and even Brad Walker's had to step up, played that point guard position with Wills on the bench, and that's what it takes to make the state championship.
A full timeout now, asked for and granted to Lance Freeman of the Rockets. Herrin 43 and Unity 29, 3:21 to go. Let's listen into Mike Mooneyham's huddle as his Herrin Tigers are leading 43-29.
Finish the ball. Okay? Play smart. Get in trouble. We got 2 timeouts left. Okay? Knock it down, bud. Knock it down. Take the 3 away. Don't foul. Here we go. Let's go. Come on. 1, 2, 3, take.
Play smart and don't foul is what he said there, Doug.
Pretty good advice right there. They've done that so far here. They've played really smart, I think, in the last 4 or 5 minutes, and that's calmed down there. You see 19%, 54%. And for Herrin, they're only 1 for 4 from three-point land. So we talked about pounding the ball inside. The Tigers have done that, done an excellent job.
Meanwhile, it's Greg Murphy at the foul line now for the Tigers. 6', 170-pound senior. He's only averaging about 3 points, 2 rebounds a game, but he's actually played some pretty solid minutes, I feel, here this afternoon. Missed both free throws, though. And back comes Unity now as we approach the 3-minute mark left in this one. Moore behind the back, driving, hanging, firing, and he's going to get to the free throw line. Mike Mooneyham just said, what did I just say, fellas? I said, do not foul. And on the first trip down the floor, one of his guys has whistled for a foul.
That's why you get gray hair or you lose your hair. Athletes will do that to you.
Well, both of the Herrin Tigers who were previously mentioned as being on the bench with some foul trouble are coming back into the game. Algie and Wills, each with 4 fouls at the scorer's table, and now they re-enter. And they're going to send Greg Murphy and Joe Mazer back to the Tigers bench. That's the big fella, 6'9", 255-pound Brian Algie, who's been a load inside.
Yeah, he's got 6 blocks, but Kurt, like you said, probably almost triple that in the shots that he's redirected or intimidated. And
Change your whole offensive plan with him under the basket. 13-point Herrin lead. 3 minutes now left in this one. It appears the Tigers are going to be very content with spreading the floor, looking for a backdoor play. All the way down and up is Walker. He's going to get to the free throw line. But when you spread the floor, that's the way to run the offense.
When you run the four corners, you don't want to get too passive back there. Still want to look to score. A lot of teams don't look to score, and that's when you get in trouble. Walker takes what the defense gives him, goes right to the hole, and tries to finish it off, but gets fouled, gets to the free throw line.
73% free throw shooter on the season. We remind you that the Country Insurance three-point shootout is between games here, between semifinals, and then after the second semifinal, between Bureau Valley and Pleasant Plains, it'll be the slam dunk contest.
Yeah, I thought Brad Walker in the first game against Farmington was a little shaky, nervous, but 1% from shooting, but he has calmed down and played some solid minutes at the point guard, and I thought he was a very calming influence for the Tigers.
He's averaging about 8 points a game. He has 6 today. And that's Smith for 3 from the outside. Smith now with 13 points. He leads his team in scoring. 13-point, 15-rebound effort. Now back on the other end of the floor come the Herrin Tigers with a 12-point lead in the basketball. 45-33, under 2.5 to go here at Carver Arena. And again, the very patient offensive spread, but it's stripped that time. Eisenmenger stripped the ball away from Brad Walker. And now from the corner, it's Moore for 3. The Rockets aren't ready to throw in the towel just yet. It's a 9-point basketball game with 2:10 remaining. Plenty of time left on the clock. Let's take another look. It starts on one end with a steal and finishes with a 3-ball on the other end.
A great steal by Unity. Moore steps up. They did this yesterday against Robinson, where they all of a sudden came alive in the fourth quarter. Moore and Harden, both those guys hit threes down the stretch.
Perfectly executed 3-on-2. We remind you that this copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the expressed written consent of the Illinois High School Association is strictly prohibited. Kurt Pegler, Doug Altenberger, Lee Hall back with you here. 2:10 to go in this first Class A state semifinal. Herrin leads Unity 45-36. The winner of this ball game is headed to the state championship game. Let's listen into Lance Freeman and the Rockets huddle.
Get it on the offensive end. We need stops. We need stops. You got to box out and hit the boards. Then go to the basket. Look to get at the line and score with the clock stop. Score with the clock stop. Hey, a lot of heart, fellas. You stay with it. Good job. Let's go. Let's go right here.
Lance Freeman grew up playing high school basketball in the state of Illinois. In fact, he was a star at Crescent Iroquois, where he played for Tom Posey. He forged his coaching career in the state of Missouri, where he took a team in 1999 to third place in the Missouri State Championship, Santa Fe High School. He said he always dreamed of playing in the state championship game, but now he has an opportunity to coach in the state finals. But his team has some work to do in the final 2 minutes. Eisenmenger all the way down, but he lost it as Wills came from behind to pick his pockets. And now Wills in the front court, 3-on-1, finds Gavick. And Gavick, he's going to get to the free throw line. What a turn of events. That could have been a basket on one end for Unity. They would have cut the deficit down to just 7 points. But instead, it turns into a couple of free throws on the other end for the Herrin Tigers and Mike Gavick.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Wills came from nowhere to pick up that loose ball. It looked like you saw a bunch of maroon jerseys, but great effort by Wills to get back defensively. And once they lost that ball, he was able to sneak in there and get that steal.
Gavick is a 67% free throw shooter. Wills is the best free thrower for the Herrin Tigers at 84%, so you would expect him to have the ball in his hands here in the final minute and 49.
Yeah, Eddie Wills has only played about 14-15 minutes, but he's got 3 steals, 8 for the Herrin Tigers for the game.
And the free throws by Gavick have given Herrin an 11-point lead, and more again for 3. He hit one from the baseline left and now hits one from the top of the circle. So he's knocked down a pair of three-point shots, and a foul in the backcourt this time is against Eisenmenger of the Rockets. And it's his 5th foul. So Andy Eisenmenger goes to the Tolono Unity bench after fouling out.
Well,
and Stratton Kellenhofer will come in. I'm sorry, Doug.
What happens is Wills forgets who he's guarding. He comes in and they don't match up. Moore's got a little bit of daylight there, and he pulls that thing up from NBA three-point land. And there you see the frustration.
Yeah, Eisenmenger picking up that foul in the backcourt. So now it's Brad Walker to the free throw line, a 73% foul shooter for Herrin.
Andy Eisenmenger did a great job defensively. I mean, you got to have guys to do the dirty work, and he definitely does the dirty work out there defensively. He gets after you.
Walker splits his free throws. It's a 48-39 Herrin lead now. 90 seconds left in this one. Moore with the hot hand, misses the jump shot. Smith gets the rebound, and he's fouled that time by Wills, who was just fouled out of the basketball game. So just what Lance Freeman of the Rockets wanted, scoring with the clock stop. He's going to get an opportunity here, and he eliminates Eddie Wills from the game, who's the best free throw shooter on the Tigers roster.
Got to play a little smarter than that. Got to know you've got 4 fouls. Nothing's going to get out of there. You're not going to get anything out trying to steal the ball from Tyler Smith right there. Just play good, solid defense.
Smith, this season, led his team in scoring 19 of its 31 games. Led the team in rebounding in 25 of the team's 31 games. And is going to do the same tonight. His 2 free throws now give him 15 points and 16 rebounds. It's a 7-point game. A near steal that time, with the ball deflected right back to Brad Walker. And now it's Algie in the front court. He lost the ball on the floor, but it went right to Gavick. And now it's Algie in the paint. His short fadeaway is down.
The big fella wanted the ball, wanted to finish it off.
Minutes ago now. Harden all the way down, scooped it up, missed the shot, tipped way out, loose ball on the floor. Cole Voigt tracks it down for Unity, and he's fouled at the timeline. And the Tigers coaching staff is screaming at its own players saying, guys, we don't need a foul at the timeline.
Yeah, exactly right, Kurt. That's the second time they fouled. Take some time, stop the clock, allow Unity get to the free throw line, score with the clock stop, and then, but more importantly, get the set up with their full court pressure if they make the free throw.
Voigt is 57% from the foul line. He'll play college football at Truman State. And that young man, Lance Freeman, says that this young man, Cole Voigt, is the toughest competitor he's ever coached. He makes both the free throws. Back to a 7-point game, under a minute to go here. Long pass ahead. It's Algie and Gavick 2-on-1. Algie again, the short jumper, rim shot. And Smith was fouled in the backcourt, that time by Greg Murphy of Herrin. And it's back to the free throw line for Unity.
Well, that's not what the shot you want. Mike Mooneyham wants to do. The clock is your enemy right now. You want to take some time off that. That was a quick shot. Then no need for that. Then Gavick gets called for the foul and just compounds it. So 2 bad decisions by the Tigers.
Yeah, even though Herrin had the numbers there, Doug, at this point it was almost better to pull the ball back out, try to milk the clock.
Exactly, and again they get to score with the clock stop, do the free throw line, reset their defense.
And timeout now called by Mike Mooneyham of the Tigers. So Tyler Smith makes the first free throw. He'll get the second one, but the Tigers call timeout. He wants to get back inside the heads of his players and get them calmed down. All right, let's reset it for you. 43.6 seconds to go. It's a 50-43 Herrin advantage. Each team has 1 timeout left. Each team in the double bonus. And the possession arrow right now favors the Herrin Tigers. And that could be critical.
And right now, you want, if you try to, if you're the Rockets, here, let's listen in here.
Go ahead, knock some free throws down. Hey, take care of it. Look to get the ball at the floor, reverse it, get it out there. Okay? We don't take nothing but a layup. Nothing.
Well, there's that point. He says we'll take nothing but a layup, and we've seen in the last 2 possessions down where they've really settled for about a 10-foot fadeaway.
And what I was just going to say, the Rockets got to try to steal the inbounds play. If they don't, quick foul. And like Mike Mooneyham said, then you got to make your free throws.
A free throw make here by Tyler Smith would bring Unity as close as it's been, 5 points, since the opening minutes of this basketball game.
I mean, it's truly, I mean, you look at the stats here, it's amazing to see that the Tigers are only down 6 points. If they make here 5 and they get a steal here or some missed free throws, they've got a chance to try to tie this game up.
It's a 5-point basketball game for the first time since the opening minutes of the contest. 40 seconds and counting left. Herrin with the basketball and that 50-45 lead. Walker across the timeline. Bounce pass near side. Algie up and no good, but he's going to get to the free throw line. Big time collision between Algie and Cole Voigt.
And the clock is still going right now. The fans are going crazy, and they're going to have to look at the TV here to figure out. You see the replay. We talked about Mike Mooneyham says all I want is a layup. Well, they got one right here. The big fella going in there and almost able. Lucky he didn't get hurt there. Got the legs cut out right from underneath him.
You guys got any idea?
We may have to replay that here to figure out what time, how much time is left here on that.
I thought it was about 29 seconds to go, but that's just a guess. I'm not sure. That's not right.
They're going to put 24 seconds on the clock.
That's not even close.
The explanation now coming from the scorer's table is Lance Freeman wants to know exactly how much time was left. The clock inadvertently continued to run after the whistle was blown.
Yeah, it went at least 4 or 5 more seconds, I thought.
We're trying to see if, on the television side of things, we can't help out and see if we can put the time on there. We're going to try to sort this situation out here.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's closer to 29 myself.
That's what, because I looked up and it was still going, and it was after a couple seconds, and then about 3 or 4 seconds.
All right, we are reviewing the tape in the truck right now to figure out exactly how much time is left and see if we can't get a more accurate feel for what the time should be left.
I was just talking to trouble.
It appears that the booth is 32 seconds.
Let's split the difference.
All right, that's what we'll go with. 32 seconds to go. And it's Algie at the free throw line. He's going to get a pair of free throws.
Well, he makes these 2, and it'll be very difficult for the Tigers to come back. He's hit every big, every time they needed possession, a big bucket, the big fella has stepped up and is converted.
71% foul shooter too, so the big fella can stroke it from the line. Big hands, soft hands.
Yeah, just a great touch. Well, you gave him the karma.
Yeah, that's what we always seem to do here. It's a 6-point game, 51-45. Moore from the outside, a 3 ball is no good. Smith tried to save, but he couldn't do it. And now with 24 seconds and counting, it's a foul at the timeline on Mike Aldani, and he'll get to the free throw line. That's going to be Stratton Kellenhofer's first foul. So 21.4 seconds to go. Herrin with a 6-point lead, and the Tigers senior guard Mike Aldani at the free throw line. An opportunity for the Herrin Tigers to play in their first state championship game since the 1957 team beat Collinsville behind Early for the state championship. That team went 31-2. Final seconds here. Smith from the outside is short, and that's going to do it. The Herrin Tigers have moved into the Class A state championship game with a 52-45 victory over the Tolono Unity Rockets.
And they did it on defense. They're holding the Rockets to 21%. And give credit to Brian Algie. I mean, he had 7 block shots for the game and just was a defensive presence in there that the Rockets weren't able to overcome.
And so Herrin moves into the championship game. The Tigers will play the winner of our second semifinal between Bureau Valley and Pleasant Plains. And the Unity Rockets will go into our third place game, and they are guaranteed to bring home their first ever basketball trophy. Let's go now to Lee Hall, who's standing by with the victorious head coach, Mike Mooneyham.
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. Mike got a little bit too close there toward the end. You guys hung on.
Well, we made some mistakes when, we were being aggressive when we should have been reversing the ball back out of there. But, there's a fine line between attacking and not attacking. And we did some right things at the very end of the game and knocked down some free throws, so everything's fine.
You got Algie and Wills in foul trouble, and Mr. Gavick really stepped up.
Mike's done it all year. He plays consistent the whole game. He's a very smart player out there. Offensively and defensively, this guy gets it done, and, we'll hang our hat with Mike Gavick.
All right. Congratulations, Coach. Good luck tonight. Mike, outstanding ball game for you out there. You had a bigger first half than second, but, when your guys got in foul trouble, you really stepped up for your team today.
Right. We needed somebody to talk to him and be a leader. Like you said, I was out there pretty good in the first half. The second half was more guard play, so I had to keep them under control. So I just pretty much was more of a leader, second half. So.
Yeah, when you get to this point in the state tournament, too, you have to be more of a team, and you guys hang your hat on Algie a lot, too. But a team that gets far in the state tournament, you got to have more than just 1 or 2 guys to go to.
Right. We have 6'9" Brian Algie, and most teams are scared of him, and so they're going to go at him, and I got to step it up, and we got Brad Walker has to step it up, and that's just what we go to whenever they try and take away Brian.
All right, good job today. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Gavick, our player of the game. Back to you, Kurt.
All right, Lee, Mike Gavick, our country insurance player of the game. 19 points, 10 rebounds. He was really a force underneath, Doug.
Yeah, and he has been playing against Farmington. Same thing, was just a fearless inside and just plays so much bigger than he is, and he's just so strong. That ball goes inside, and he's got that great hops, the springs, and great leaping ability, so he can go up right over the top. Yeah, just an explosive player.
On 7 of 10 shooting from the field, Mike Gavick leads the way. He has 19 points. Brian Algie has 17. So those two stars combined for 36 of their team's 52 points, and they put Herrin into the Class A state championship game tonight. Herrin 52 and the Unity Rockets of Tolono 45 in our first Class A state semifinal. Don't forget, we've got the Country Insurance 3-point shootout between games. We've got Bureau Valley against Pleasant Plains in the second state semifinal, and the slam dunk follows that game. Once again, the final score, the Herrin Tigers 52, the Unity Rockets 45. For Lee Hall and Doug Altenberger, this is Kurt Pegler. Stay tuned for more basketball from the Class A semifinals after these messages and a word from your local stations.